Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another Disney vlog, or I should say, sort of Disney vlog. This is Darth Tuba Star Wars unboxing show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and I'm actually on my way outside the Disney bubble. That is right. For those not in the vernacular, the Disney bubble refers to the Walt Disney World Resort area, meaning not just Magic Kingdom, not just Epcot, not just Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, not just their water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, not just all their golf courses, but also all of their resorts. Disney Springs shopping and dining area, the 20+ resorts. There's a campground. There are actually homes here. There's a bunch of areas that are all part of the Disney bubble. It's the original property that Walt Disney World, the Disney company, purchased back in late 60s or into early 70s. Fun stuff about that. If you were really interested in how one builds essentially a city from the ground up in a very, very short span of time, it's really, really fascinating. Anyway, though, that's the Disney bubble. We typically vacation in Disney and stay in the bubble. We are not those, we don't tend to venture out. Even when our daughter was working down here, she worked in the Disney bubble and then lived in Celebration, which was essentially a parcel of land that Disney basically built a town in and then sold the town off, but it was still part of the original Disney infrastructure and still is, in the sense that it's all kind of connected, you know, and it's, even though it's not part of Disney officially, it's still part of the infrastructure of Disney, which means you don't have to do all the major highways, and there's not a lot of congestion and traffic. It's quite pleasant to get around there as a little town. In fact, if I ever did decide that I wanted to move to Florida, I would move to Celebration. That would be my place to go, because it's just so pretty and picturesque, and it's got everything you need, you know, from supermarkets to everything else, to, you know, schools, churches, whatever you need. It's all right there. That would be fun. But alas, that is not probably what's going to end up since our daughter moved back to New Jersey. We will probably be staying up there as well, but continue to vacation down here. Anyway, from time to time, though, one must exit the bubble and go into the other parts of Disney, of the Florida property, for whatever reason. If you want to go to Universal, you know, you have to exit the Disney bubble. You want to go to SeaWorld. But there are 3/4 locations that I am going to go out and venture out on. And the video will be I'll compress it into one video, but it's going to take probably 2 days to do. The first that we're going to do right now is a store called Recycling the Magic. It's about 20 to 30 minutes away, depending on traffic, from the Disney bubble. And we're going to go there. We're going to just look in there. I think it's a husband and wife Disney set of Disney fans, and they have collected so much Disney ephemera over the years. Everything from props that were used in rides, cast member costumes, everything of that nature, right down to things like bumper stickers, and even collecting old maps that were once free that are no longer made. So they sell them. They're pins, buttons, all sorts of different things. So that's one cool place to do. And if you watch my videos over the summer, I did go there. So we're going to venture there again and see if there's been any updates to their stock. The second place I'm going to go is a place called the Lakeland Antique Mall, which is one of these antique malls, which is essentially just a big wide open area. I think it used to be something like a Kmart or like a big shopping center like that. And there are just hundreds of individual booths. Everything and everything that is everything you can imagine is for sale there. And it's the kind of thing where sometimes the dealers are there, but a lot of times they just put little price tags on there, and there's codes, and when you want to buy something, you pick it off the shelf, or if it's a very rare item, you kind of check it in with them. You get a person to come back and get it out of the glass case, and then you bring it up to the front with a shopping cart, and you tally everything up, and you purchase it all there, and then they distribute the cuts to all the different antique dealers. So that's a huge place, and you know, you can get lost in there for hours. So I'm going to go there for a little bit and just kind of go do kind of a sweep. That's a little bit further away, and unfortunately even further still, or it's going to take longer still, because of the I-4 traffic. We got to hit I-4, which it's a rite of passage. You can't be on a Florida trip with your car without at least delving into I-4 at least a couple of times. And then the last one is actually two. It's the Disney Character Warehouse. This is owned by Disney, and it's basically a Disney outlet where they take stock and merchandise of things that are no longer for sale, or things that have run their course, or maybe there was an overstock. Sometimes it's damaged, slightly damaged or dinked items, but it's mostly just things that have run their course. When the holidays end, all the Disney holiday merch gets put into the Character Warehouse, that kind of thing. And there's actually two locations. There's one in Vineland and one on International Drive. So I'm not going to go there today. I will put it in the videos in one shot. But I'm going to go there on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, because that is usually when they restock. They restock before they open, and people go in. So I'm probably going to get up in the morning early, and go and wait to get in, and hope for the best. What am I looking for? Well, in all four locations, or three or four locations, two things. I'm looking for Star Wars with a Disney twist, okay? And I'm looking for items to Star Wars for a Disney twist, but with two items, with two goals in mind. Some stuff I want to find, if I can find them cheap enough that I think I can post on Whatnot and run them in shows, I will do that. I'll see what I can find, and there could be, it's Disney with a Star Wars twist, except for the Lakeland Antique Center. There I'm just looking to see if I can get some modern figures or loose vintage figures if I can get them for pretty cheap. Not hopeful with that. I mean, these are dealers. They want to get a good price for them, so it'll be hard for me to get a price that I can flip with. But you never know. There might be some things that have been on there for so long that they'll have a really low price, or maybe there's like a deal, buy two get one free, that kind of thing. And I'll see what I can find. And it may not work, but that's okay. I'm willing to make the trip. It's a kind of a gloomy day today. It's been on and off rain all day, so I'm not really feeling like going into the park until maybe tonight. So we'll check it out. And then the other thing is, for the Disney Star Wars twist thing, that is for the personal collection. I always like to look for stuff that I think, oh, that's really cool. I'd love to run that. I'd love to have that in my collection. I'd love to make that part of my little Disney display of Star Wars, Star Tours, Galaxy's Edge, things that I didn't already pick up right away, that kind of stuff. So let's get on the road here and see what we can find. Our first stop, recycling the magic. Here we are. Crazy.
I may have. I want to share. I will be right here. I know, man. I almost have a time limit on you. I know. So,
is that?
Or cruel enough.
See, I'm nice.
Okay, so that was insanely crowded. This is a very, very popular store in the outskirts of Walt Disney World. It is a great place for you to find all sorts of ephemera and things, everything from, like I said, from props that were used on attractions, costumes that the cast members wore, right down to things that some little things that I picked up, like I picked up a menu. This was a menu. Now, on one side, it's an Incredibles menu. These are like these things this was a kid's meal for the 50s primetime cafe, all right? So this is the Incredibles, but on the other side, it's Solo, all right? And I thought that was really cool. At first, I thought it was a Denny's menu, but nope, this is not Denny's. This is actually from the 50s primetime cafe, which I love that restaurant, so that's really cool. Now, everything I'm showing you here, I have not 100% decided if these are going to be things that go into the whatnot sales or if they're going to go into my collection. Okay, some things I have said, if I know for sure, I will tell you that. Okay, we're starting with this guy right here. This is it's in pieces right now. This is not a vintage but a modern TIE fighter, but it was a pretty good price for it. I figured, you know what, if I put this up for $5, I have a feeling that I'll be able to flip it, so I'm willing to take a risk on it. So that was that. Then we also have this series. This is a metallic card set. Again, it was a pretty reasonable price, I thought. So these are essentially, like, this is the Series 2. I think I used to have Series 1, but I did think I sold it in one of the yard sales. These are essentially just cards that are kind of metallic, like this. They're actually, you look at them. So that's kind of a cool thing. So in addition, I don't know, I'm going to keep one of these for myself, but this is not actually a Fast Pass, but it's on a Fast Pass paper. For those Disney aficionados, remember the times in the before times when we can actually go and you'd have to, when you wanted to use a Fast Pass, you would take your card and you would, you know, your park ticket, and you would scan it and you'd get one of these cards. Well, this guy's apparently made a ton of these, and I think they're not, it says not a valid Fastback ticket. Your ticket was not used for admission today at Disney's Hollywood Studios. A Fastback ticket cannot be issued. Please ask a cast member for assistance. Ticket not scanned. So it's probably, they probably were doing something kind of just to get a bunch of these papers to sell them, because people just want to have these, even if it's just a remnant. There were some actual Fastpass, but that's very rare, because people, when they got a Fastpass ticket, they typically used it. So, but the funny thing is that what happened to those Fastpass tickets? They were just handed sometimes. Sometimes they were fed into a machine, but most of the time they were just handed to a cast member. God, it was so long ago. Feels like forever ago. All right, This one, that probably get the cards and most of those tickets will be sold for like $1 or whatever. I have to check on this one. This is one of the blue milk container from Galaxy's Edge. I don't know if I actually got this for my collection, so I may or may not be reselling. And then this one, we'll have to look through some of my old stuff, but we got some great Star Wars Weekends maps. Got one for basically 2 different maps here. One was 2013 and one was 2014. So these are among the final ones that they offered. I only went to 1 Star Wars Weekends because they always happen May and June, and that's a difficult time for me to travel with my CC job because it's right at the end of the school year and we're wrapping everything up. It's just hard to do, so I never really did that. But anyway, so those are a bunch of things in that item. And then the other bag here, these are all going in the sale, so I'll show them to you now. We have one of these some packs. It's pretty cheap, and it was Han and Greedo. These are these cute little things that they were doing for a while. And we got the Elite Series. What the heck is his name? Chirrut Emway and his buddy, the buddy cop film that we never got, Baze Malbus. Okay, so there they are, the 2 of these. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get at least $10 for each of them, for one of these, but we will see how that goes. So anyway, all right, now that is the first exit, the first bubble that we are, exit bubble that we have ventured into. Now I'm going over to the Lakeland Antique Center. I will say, full disclosure, it's saying 1 hour and 14 minutes from here. All right, which is usually it's supposed to be more like not half that, maybe 50 minutes, but it's traffic. So we will do what we can. It is open pretty late, and I do not want to go around too much. What I will probably do is just do a walk around. I'll focus on, I know there's a few areas, and there's a lot of Disney and a lot of Universal stuff, a lot of just general antiques. I will focus mainly, if I really, really focus on a booth, I'm going to focus on the booths that have Star Wars stuff. And then from there, we'll cut to the car, and I'll let you know if I picked anything up. All right, so let's get a move on. Okay, Lakeland Center Antique Mall. Here we are. Let's see what we got. sorry.
next time a foul order wafts past your nose and makes you cringe, think about how it is affecting your health, because it is. Scientists say bad smells affect your physical health. Factories, bad odors can cause nausea, headaches, poor sleep.
Oh man. Damn.
Smell involved as an early warning system, so the brain reacts to foul odors in a quick second, triggering stress and physical discomfort in order to keep you safe. The problem is the smell never goes away. That constant alert state can wear people down. It's not from exercise and socializing. Over time, and physical and mental. What's an ether? Well, an ether is a secret.
Okay, so how do we do? Well, we bought stuff. Is it going to be stuff that I'm going to be able to make a profit on? Probably not. I'm hoping to break even and maybe make a profit here and there. But here's the thing. As I mentioned on the channel, sometimes I like to, I just like to support other vendors. I know, maybe that's wrong of me. I mean, I know it's a competitive business, but other time, in addition to supporting other vendors, it's also a matter of, I know that if I can put stock in the shop, so to speak, my table, if you will, that attracts more buyers. Whether that means if I put it in a show to attract other people, or if it's to attract people on Whatnot, if they see what they have on my table, that is a benefit to what I do. And I have seen, now, mind you, without having run a show in going to be 2 weeks, over 2 weeks by the time this video goes live, without having run a show in that amount of time, and spending money on eBay, spending money on auction houses, spending money now in Disney, and and some of it's for the channel, to put stuff in my stock to sell, and some of it's just money out of my pocket to help with vacation costs. Now my numbers in my bank account are going down. Not a lot, but enough that it's noticeable. And I have to kind of think about that. Having said that, so I also think about just having stock. I just want to make sure I have stock. Okay? And there are items in here, like I said. It's not definitive yet whether these are going to be in my collection or if they're going to be in the sales, unless I specifically tell you so. First, we got Memphis Nest and the swoop bike. I believe I had this at one point in my collection, and I might have sold it. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell that one or not. I believe because they never made them into I am keeping the Black Series figures of the Skeleton Crew kids, only because they never made Vintage Collection. The minute they make Vintage Collection figures, these are going on Whatnot. There's that one. I did get a custom Neil, but I did pick up the Neil Black Series version. So they may end up at a show. They may end up in a Whatnot show in the future, but not right now. Right now, they'll just be part of the collection. And then we got, well, these are for the collection. I never really collected the Coke cans. I only collected the Coke bottle labels. So I did grab a few Coke cans. I got Leia and Vader. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just move myself along here. Okay. This one will be in the sale. We have a holiday Mandalorian that'll put it in the sale. This will also go in the sale. We've got a Leia figure, Bespin Leia original trilogy. Grief Karga will go in the sale, Vintage Collection. I got a retro Mace Windu that'll go in the sale, and a retro Attack of the Clones Jango Fett. And we also have a Droids TC-14. This is the Droids TC-14 from the Build-A-Droid series from last year. I do have a retro prototype edition Chewbacca, but I want to see how that one looks next to my own retro collection Chewbacca, because I may want to, you know, I may want to put them in there, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, so that is going to do it for right now. Now, the next part of this video will be the next day, where I will be going to the Disney Character Warehouse to see both the one, definitely the one in Vineland, because that's right next to Disney, and unless there's some major traffic blocking me from getting to the one on International Drive, I will get to that one as well, and then we will see if I can pick up any. I'm really looking for droids and action figures. Anything that I can sell as figures. I mean, there really isn't anything else that I'm really interested in, so to put out and whatnot. I have a few odds and ends items here and there, but they're generally more hodgepodgey, kind of for fun. So we shall see. So the next clip will be the next day at the Disney Character Warehouse. Okay guys, it's day 2. We are now on our way to the Disney Character Warehouse to see if we can find any Star Wars items that might be there. Typically, it's more of a place for previous event merchandise, holiday merchandise, things of that nature. But every so often, if there was figures that didn't sell in the regular stores, they do put them in there at a discount. Of course, I laugh because the discount is basically what you would pay full price in any other store. So I don't know if I'm gonna pick anything up or not. We'll see what we can find. So there are actually 2 character warehouses, one on Vineland and one on International. We're heading to the Vineland one first. And today is Wednesday at the day of this recording, which does usually mean it is the merchandise setup day, like where they bring new stuff in. Or at least that's what it used to be. I've heard that it does sometimes. They have other days. Maybe they don't always do it Wednesdays. But there's typically a lot of people there. The weather right now, I'm risking not bringing an umbrella because it's just kind of overcast today, and there was a little chance of thunderstorms later, but this is in the morning, so I'm hoping I can get away with not having it, but we'll see, because it is kind of an open air area, so wish me luck. All right, we'll check out the Vineland place first. Yep. So I got here, parking easy. Line, a little bit. But generally moves fairly quickly. I think it's a little bit delayed at the beginning just because all these people are going to come in and kind of look around, so. Oh, the holiday ones, but that's okay. I'll grab a couple of those. Interesting, looks like they've cleaned out a lot of Star Wars stuff. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. Look at that, it's moved everything around.
Wait, I just saw
This is where it used to be. Yeah, looks like, yeah, not too much. Oh, here we go. Few items here. Shirts are cute. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I actually have this one. Poor Honda. Items here. think we're good there. All right. Ezra Bridger. Cool. Okay, we made a few purchases. Not too much there. So I'm gonna go check out the International Drive if the traffic is being cooperative. Okay, we are in the International Drive version. Got those Flynn cars. Oh, another one? Oh, another TC14. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to get a basket. Party talking. Ooh. Let's double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. The TC14. How much are these? They don't really say. Open the door. Okay.
Mira, eso es como los que le... Sí.
Looks like the rest of this is probably just regular Disney merch. They move stuff around. Yeah, the Star Wars stuff has been seriously reduced. Of course, we have more. Oh, ton of Ezra Bridger lightsabers. Okay. Probably gonna get flagged on this video, but that's okay. Lots of cool songs. Alright, let's check out. Once again, another successful run. There's just one small problem. Open up. Thank you. How am I gonna get all my luggage in here? Ah! That's gonna be a